Welcome back to GUNA'S tutorial. I am sharing my lecture for the audience. I register my sincere thanks to all my subscribers. Join us to the data analytics class.
Good afternoon, everyone. In the previous class, we had discussion on data science, data analytics, and data science project roles, responsibilities, etc. And also, we discussed about the responsibilities of project sponsor, client, and the data scientist. Today, we will continue with the responsibilities of data architect and operations. Okay, data architect. The data architect is responsible for all the data and its storage. Sometimes they are called as the database administrator. So they are also maintaining the data warehouse. Data warehouse in the sense, if the data size is limited, we can store the data into databases. If you are having the database is in a huge manner or the size is very large, we can save the data into the data warehouse. So the data architect is responsible for maintaining both the database as well as the data warehouses. And next one is the operation. The person filling this role usually has operational responsibilities outside of the data science group. Next comes stages of the data science project. In this, we are going to discuss the life cycle of the data science project, loop within loop with an example. In this process, break up the cycle into distinct stages like define the goal, data collection, build the model, evaluate and critique the model, present results and document, and finally the deploy model. Let us consider an example loan application. The ultimate business goal is to reduce the bank's losses due to bad loans. It is also equally important to see the future and forecast the success and failure of the loan application to fulfill their obligation. It is here to define the goal, plays a major role in defining how successful a bank's loan originating and the subsequent repayment is going to be. For example, I want to get a loan from bank for my son's education. Okay, so for that I have to approach the bank. When I approach the bank loan, they will be maintaining some data. So based on that data, they will be sponsor the loans. So that is called as the application of loan. So in this situation, once you the project sponsor and other stakeholders have established preliminary answers to the following questions. Why do the sponsors want the project in the first place? And what do they lack and what do they need? What are they doing to solve the problem and is it good enough? What resources will you need? What kind of data and how much staff? Will you have domain expertise to collaborate with, and what are the computational resources? How do the project sponsors, what are the constraints that have to be met for successful deployment? So many questions they are having to define a goal. So already I told you about loan application. So in that loan application, you have to ask the question to the client. Okay, so the client may be the student or business people or whoever they want to get the loan. That can be approached as the bank. And we are approaching the bank side, they will be having some set of questions. So that if they are able to get that answer for the questions, definitely they will sanction the loan. Okay, so you and they can start defining the precise goal of the project. The goal should be specific and measurable. For example, the loan application can be accepted based on the credit card score, interest rate, installment, annual income, etc. Okay, so they are having some attributes. So based on that attribute, they will be offering loan or the application will be sanctioned or rejected. Okay, so these are all the some of the criteria. That means they will be looking into the credit card score, interest rate, installment, annual income, etc. So next topic, is data collection and management. So it's a time consuming process and also most important because when we are doing a project, we have to do so many things. First of all, they have to identify what type of data they need or what are all the attributes they are in need. So based on that, they have to do some data collection process. The data collection may be one-to-one interaction, or they can have some questionnaire to get the answer, or they can also interact with the end user. Like that, they have so many parameters to collect the data. So once again, they have some set of questions. What data is available to me? Will it help me solve the problem? Is it enough? Is the data quality is good enough? So like that, they have some questions. Let us consider the same example, bank application data. So in the table, I have given the loan data attributes. So in that loan data attributes, you will be having so many attributes like a duration in months, credit history, what is the purpose, and what is the credit amount, whether it is a saving bank account or bond, or whether they are getting loan for present employee, and then installment rate, whether this type of attribute is enough to process the application, a loan application. I have to ask about what data is available to me. That means already they are having some attributes. Okay, so this attribute is enough to sanction the application. Will it help me solve the problem? So with this attribute, I can able to process the application. Is it enough? Or otherwise I need to collect some more information. Is the data quality good enough? So like that, they have to ask so many questions. Then they have to find out any attributes to be added or removed from the existing data. In this right side, you can see the graph. X-axis, there is a fraction of defaulted loan, and y-axis credit history. Okay, so there are two different color combination. One is about light blue and another one is dark blue. So dark blue means bad loan and light blue means good loan. So I will explain what do you mean by good loan and bad loan. Okay. Left side, you can see that different attributes are available. Okay, so based on that attribute, they are going to sanction the application or reject the application. Okay, so from that, you have to find out good loan and bad loan. For the purpose of this discussion, assume that a good loan was paid off. Bad loan means defaulted. Okay, so I'll give some examples so that you can understand better. For example, for good loan or educational loan, business loan, and home loan. Okay, so these are all the good loan. And bad loan examples: credit card balance, auto loan, personal loan, etc. For better understanding, I'll tell you an example. Education loan is considered as a good one. Education loan will support for the students for their financially independence. Okay, so that is the good loan. Then what about bad loan? Whereas credit card balance is a bad loan because in this the interest charge on them are very high, and also bad loan can destroy your financial health. Now I think you can understand the difference between good loan and bad loan. Collect data as much as possible. Try to use information that can be directly measured rather than information that is inferred from another measurement. Okay, so this is the data collection and management based on the bank loan example. So modeling. The most common data science modeling are classification, scoring, ranking, clustering, finding relations, and characterization. Occasions means you have to categorize some data. Okay, so that data is called as the classification. And scoring means you can predict something from the available data. Okay, so it may be the numeric value or prices or probability. And ranking means learning to order items by preferences. For example, if you are doing online shopping means, definitely we will be seeing the rating. Okay, if the rating is high means definitely we will be buying the product. Okay, so that is called as the ranking. Clustering means grouping items. Not only grouping, we have to group the items with the most similar group. Okay, and next comes the model evaluation and critique. So once you have a model, you need to determine if it meets your goals. So for that, once again, we have to ask some set of questions. Okay, is it accurate enough for your needs? Does it generalize well? Does it perform better than the obvious guess? Better than whatever estimate you are currently use? Do the results of the model is efficient? If you have answered no at any of these questions, it is time to look back to the modeling step or decide that the data doesn't support the goal you are trying to achieve. So that you have to get back the model. So this is the model evaluation critique. Next one is presentation and documentation. Documentation means people who are all involved in the project, they have to maintain what are all the things they are doing. That should be documented. So that is called as the documentation. Presentation is the final one. Okay, so once the project is over, they have to prepare a good presentation. So different audience require different kinds of information. Suppose your model identified a set of bad loans.
Once you have a model that meets your success criteria, you will present your result to your project sponsor and other stakeholders. Okay. You must also document the model for those in the organization who are responsible for using, running, and maintaining the model once it has been deployed. The graph will tell about what to do and what do not do. Okay. So that things will be explained in the graph. Okay, so there should be some interpretation and there should be some output look. Okay, definitely some highlights should be there and how we are classifying. Okay, so in the y-axis you will be having some domestic appliances, repairs, others, education, car used or new car purchased, or furniture, business. So like that you will be having some purposes. Okay, so finally deployment, model deployment. Okay, so this is the final stage of data science project. So finally the model is put into the operation. Okay, so that means you are going to deploy the model. Okay, so once you deploy the model, you are ensuring that the model will run smoothly. Assure that model can be updated as its environment changes. Okay, so sometimes the project manager or the stakeholders ask us to do some updations. Okay, so that updations we definitely do. Okay, so that is called as the maintenance. During test, if any issues are anticipated, the life cycle model will be repeated to achieve the goal. Okay, so this is the life cycle of data science project. Thank you for watching. Meet you in the next episode.